Okay, so today we are going to talk about cloud computing. And this cloud computing as a concept is used in all companies today. So, every company, if you talk about a startup or a big company like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, all these companies are relying on cloud computing today. Now, I will be starting this lecture with a kind of a story so that you can understand why this concept came into the picture and what was the scenario previously. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the things between 2001 and 2012. I am going to talk about the scenario between 2001 and 2012. So now if you all know that internet came into the picture between 2005 to 2008. At this point of time, internet came into the picture. Now, when internet came into the picture, so at that point of time, the companies which were there, so let's say there was a company X. Let's say X company was there. Now, this X company has, let's say, 100 employees working, and all these employees are, you can say, engineers, analysts, developers, and all. Now, this company X has created a website. This company has X has created a website, and this company X was Amazon. So they have created a website www.amazon.com. Okay. Now, when they started Amazon, so at that point of time, the product they have launched, which was their website, there were some kind of things that they require or they wanted to use. So let's say if a company has opened amazon.com as a website and which is their own product right now in starting to cater the needs of the people or in starting to cater their audience, like the audience who will come on their website will purchase some product, will get their delivery happen. So for all these kind of things they have created a website which is amazon.com. Now whenever a company creates a product or a website, they need three basic things. They need three basic things. And those three basic things come under the umbrella of infrastructure. The three things that I'm going to tell you, these come under the umbrella of infrastructure. Now, as an infrastructure, if Amazon.com has opened a website, then initially when the people were less or many people don't do the online order, at that point of time, they have a server. So they have a server. Now, server you can think of a simple machine, or you can say, or you can think of a server like a machine. Okay. Now, in this machine, in this particular machine, so initially their request or their users were very less, so they were working on a server. Now, this server you can understand as a kind of a supercomputer. The server you can understand as a supercomputer. Now, first of all, let's try to understand what exactly a server is. So, server is a kind of machine which has your CPU, your memory, which is your RAM, storage, which will be your hard disk drive, or you can have it can be a SDD. Along with this, in this server, you have something known as network card. So network card is basically used for communication, for communication. So if you have to communicate between the different parts of the servers, then you need a network card. And finally, they have something known as a operating system. So if you are working in a particular server, then that server needs to have a operating system, which is your OS. And with all these things, a server is created. So initially, when Amazon.com got created, at that point of time, the traffic was very less. So with the help of a single server, or you can say a single machine, which has CPU, hard disk type, RAM, network card, and OS, they were able to cater the needs of the people. Now let's try to understand what each thing do. So basically, CPU is something which has cores inside it. So let's say if you have a 4-core CPU, if you have a 4-core CPU, whenever you talk about a CPU, octa-core, quad-core processor, so now 4-core CPU means that you can execute 4 tasks at a time. And what are these tasks? So let's say if a person is going to Amazon.com, if a person is going to Amazon.com and if he's searching for a product, let's say iPhone. Now, when he will search for the iPhone product, as soon as he will be able to see iPhone picture, cost of iPhone, and then by selecting that, he can buy an iPhone. So now if you see here, the person has gone to Amazon.com. Now, once he has gone to Amazon.com, he has searched for a product. Now, when he has searched for a product, he has or he is trying to do a task. Now, to execute that task, we need a CPU. Okay. Now, execution of that task requires a CPU. But once he has executed the task and he wants some information of an iPhone, the next thing that comes into the picture is RAM. So RAM is the second thing that comes into the picture. So I will be writing RAM here also so that it will not be confusing. So RAM will come, and RAM is basically a kind of a processor. So every time you have heard about RAM, random access memory. So RAM is used for processing the task, and all the tasks that are processed in RAM are processed in memory. And anything that is processed in memory is always faster. So let's say on Amazon.com, 4 people or 5 people are there who were searching for iPhone. Now, at the same point of time, CPU will help them to execute the task. RAM will help them to process and to get the results in front of them. And now, let's say if Amazon is there, let's say if Amazon is there, and now Amazon wants to have some more products. Let's say Amazon wants to have some more products. So now if Amazon wants to have some more products, then what they will do? They will try to store those products. They will try to, let's say, in simple words, they will try to publish products on their website. And if they want to publish a product on their website, what they need? They need a picture of the product. They need a seller information who is selling that product. They need a price information. They will need a credit card details, like credit card information, what credit cards can be applied here. So all this information, if they want to have on their website for their no new product, where they will store this information. So this information they will try to store in hard disk. This information they will try to store in the hard disk. Now, all the people who are working, let's say in the Amazon company, let's say 100 employees are there, and all their things or all their websites. So whenever you create a website, your developer needs a kind of operating system. So let's say this particular website was based on a operating system which was Linux. So now this operating system is required to work with this server. So that was a process. That is the whole information about a server. What is a server? Now initially this server was very strong. Initially this server was very strong, and this server was very big, that it can handle easily 300, or you can say 300 to 400 people in a hour. The server was capable to cater 300 to 400 people in a hour. But the problem arises when most of the people wanted to shop on Amazon.com. So after some time, let's say after 2 years, the scenario changed. Now, because of internet and people were evolving around internet, this traffic of 300 to 400 people per hour increased to 1000 to, or you can say it increased to 2000 to 3000 people per hour. Now, currently they have a single machine which is catering all the needs. But now when this traffic got increased, then what they will do? The first thing that they will be doing is they will try to increase the capacity of their machine. They will try to increase capacity of their machine, or you can say their server. So now what they can do, let's say previously 4 core CPU was there. Right now they will have 8 core CPU. Let's say previously 8 GB RAM was there. Now they will have 32 GB of RAM. Let's say previously 1000 DB, 1 TB hard disk was there. Now they will use 1 petabyte of hard disk, and they will do the, or you can say they will increase the server and they will increase the machine. Okay, they will do this thing. Now, this is one thing that they will do. This is one thing that they will do. And this particular thing in which uh you can say this particular thing in which you are trying to increase the capacity of a existing machine, this particular thing is known as vertical scaling. So vertical scaling basically means that if I have a machine and I have more traffic now, so first of all, I will try to increase the capacity of my machine. And that particular scaling or increasing is known as vertical scaling. But okay, they try to do vertical scaling, they try to increase the specification, but the traffic was not able to cater. The 2000 to 3000 people, they were not able to cater just by increasing the specification. So they came up with a concept that now we will not use a single machine, we will use multiple machines like this. So they talked that they will use multiple machines like this. Okay, so now for this process, they need to have same machines like this. So I will be doing this copy and now I'll be pasting it here. So let's say right now they need multiple machines. Machine 1, which will have all those things. And same like this, they will be using multiple machines. Now, instead of having one machine, now let's say they have 4 machines. Now, if they have 4 machines, then their work is right now set up. Now they can easily handle 2000 to 3000 people per hour by having 4 machines and with their maximum specifications. Okay, right now the thing is fine and they are able to do the things. But now to set up these 4 machines and to work or to make them work together, what they need? They need a good internet connection. And for that, they use local area network. Why they use local area network? Why they do not use internet? Because local area network speed is around 20 to 30 GB per second. And internet does not has that much speed. That's why these companies connect their machines with the help of local area network. And the second reason is security. So because of security and high speed, these companies use LAN for the connectivity. So all these machines are uh, connected with the LAN, and they also require a person, let's say a kind of staff for managing these machines. They will also require a staff for managing these machines. When I say managing these machines, then I mean to say that, so at that point of time when internet came into the picture and things were increasing, at the same point of time Hadoop came into the picture. And Hadoop told that I can help you to make your machines work together at the same point of time. And now that concept was basically parallel processing. So parallel processing is a concept in which all your machines can work together simultaneously to execute a task faster. And this Hadoop concept came into the picture. So if you want to have a setup like this, you will first of all create a Hadoop cluster, then you will have a internet, and you need to have a staff also to see all these kind of configurations and things. Okay. Now 2000 to 3000 people needs were catered by this. But today if you talk about Amazon, now Amazon has around, you can say, 200k to 300k orders per minute, or you can say per hour. Today the demand is this much. Lot of traffic is there. And today people are more, products are more, and it is in India, and it is in US also. And along with this, today people write reviews also. Today people attach pictures also of their product. Today people try to upload videos also on Amazon. Today people do lot of things. So now to cater all this huge demand in this internet era, four machines or five machines cannot help you. Today, you need to have at least hundreds to thousands of machines. Thousands of machine. And now if you want thousands of machine to cater this whole requirement or this whole thing, then you need to have a big infrastructure. You need to have a big infrastructure. And when I say you need to have a big infrastructure, then you need multiple computers, or you can say multiple machines or multiple servers all together connected in parallel. You need all these things. Along with that, you need to place them in a better way. And you also have to worry about any fault tolerance. Let's say if something, let's say if electricity gone, or let's say if internet connection is not stable, so you have to manage all these things, and along with this you have to set up and you have to place these machines or servers in a better way. And this complete process requires at least you can say lot of land. It requires lot of land if you want to set up this, and it requires a lot of infrastructure cost. It requires a lot of infrastructure cost. It requires at least you can say 50 to 100 people to manage it, which is manpower cost. The next cost associated to it is a very big cost, which is electricity cost. And the major and the most challenging part was that lot of manual work was there. Lot of manual work was there to manage all these machines. To manage all these machines. So a lot of work was there to manage all these machines. And today, if you know, Amazon does not have only Amazon website. Today they have their application also. Today they have Amazon Prime, Amazon Pay, Amazon Web Services. Today they have multiple things with them. So now they require a lot of, or you can say a very, very big infrastructure to cater all their websites and their application. And to work with this big infrastructure, they need a lot of land. So land cost, they need a lot of infrastructure, they need a lot of manpower, and they need a lot of electricity. And along with that, they need lot of machines also. And when they need lot of machines, so machine cost will also be included. So this particular way of setting up infrastructure like this was becoming very tedious and it was becoming very difficult. And companies were paying a lot of cost for doing this because every company has their data as an important resource, because that data will only help them to, let's say, bring some meaningful decisions for the company. So this data was very important to them. So now they cannot like lose this data. They anyhow have to pay this much cost to set up a big infrastructure. Now, let me give you a kind of a picture how this infrastructure looks like. And this particular thing is known as data center. So this particular structure looks something like this. If you see, this is a kind of a data center. If you see, multiple computers are connected together and these are known as racks. So if you see, these are known as racks. And in each rack, a particular internet connection and a particular electricity is powered. And same like this, the whole data center is set up. So if you see, this is a very good picture of a particular data center. So see, this data center looks like this. And if anything fails, a lot of time is required. And now let's say Amazon is a very big website, and due to some reason, let's say if this particular server or this particular infrastructure got crashed, at the same point of time your Amazon website will be very down and people will face a lot of problem there. Same problem happened with Facebook also. So when Facebook was in trend, so at that point of time, Facebook got to know that we were not able to manage this much amount of users on our website or on our application with the help of these tedious data center setup. So they got to know that this is very difficult to set up. So this was the initial story. So now are you clear with the problem that the people have and how this problem started? Is everything clear to you till now, everyone? Just say a yes in the chat if you all are clear till here. And I want responses from everyone. So try to be like more active, because I am also like teaching you in a very active manner. So try to be very active. Okay. So right now we know about the problems. We know about the problems and we also know how these problems arise. Now what is the solution? Now what is the solution? Now solution is cloud computing. Javed, you can have see the recordings after the class if you have missed, because this is a very big lecture, so I cannot repeat the things again. So yeah. So now solution is cloud computing. Now what exactly this cloud computing means? मतलब क्या है इस क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग का? ठीक है. So let's say there is a company X And now this company has a very big, like this company is managing a very big infrastructure right now. This company is managing a very big infrastructure right now. Now cloud computing says that first thing, don't worry about the infrastructure. Don't worry about the infrastructure. We will manage. Don't worry about services. We will manage. And the third thing, which is very important, so let me tell you that third thing because that will come here in understanding cloud computing more. Okay, so now let's say there is a company X, which is Amazon. Now Amazon, let's say, have lot of money. And Amazon said that I will not move to cloud computing. I have a lot of money. I can buy multiple servers and multiple machines which can work for me. But now the problem, try to understand. Let's say on Big Billy, or let's say on Amazon Great Indian Festival or any Amazon event. Let's say the what you say, let's say at that point of time, the traffic was very much. And because of that traffic, they installed multiple new servers to cater the demand. But after that, sale got over. Now, all those machines are not able to work right now because there is not that much demand. So, now what about all those machines or all those servers? You are not utilizing them, which means that those servers are just like a free resource and nobody is using them. But you are paying for them, you are paying for the land in which you are storing them. So that was also a problem. कि scaling तो ठीक है, we can add new machines, we can scale our system. But the point is how to effectively use our resource. Like I have set up 100 computer, 100 servers right now, but right now, after some time, my company got shut down. Or let's say my company got very low. Now today we are getting only 100 orders. Now what about all those machines that I have set up? So, so that is also a kind of a problem, na? Ki whenever I require, then it is good. But whenever when I don't require that much machine setup and all, at that point of time, how to save my resources? So that was also a problem because हमने पैसा खर्च कर दिया. We have spent the money, but now we are not using it. So that is a wastage. So that also was the third problem that cloud computing solved. That pay only when you use us, or our services. So now cloud is basically solving these three major problems. First is that you don't need to create any infrastructure. We will create it for you. Don't worry about services. We will manage. Pay only when you use our services. Now you must be thinking how like how they will create the infrastructure and how they will do the things. You must be thinking about these things right now. So okay, so try to understand in this way. Govind, please don't try to draw anything on the screen. I have told in the starting of the lecture only, please don't do this, otherwise I will like remove you from the class. Please don't do this. Okay, so now how this cloud companies or how this cloud will do. So cloud कहता है or cloud tells that we have we have our own data centers. Cloud says that we have our no problem. Cloud says that we have our own data centers, and in those data centers we have everything available, which means that we have everything available, which means we have lot of servers there, we have lot of people to maintain those servers, and we have lot of good infrastructure there. Now from our infrastructure or from our in our data centers. So cloud says that we have all this infrastructure set up, we have all the things set up. Now we care about all those things. You don't have to care. We will create our data centers. We have all the things for you. And from our data center, or you can say from our own resources, we will provide you everything that you require over the internet. Over the internet. Then simply think of that, if now Amazon has to run their website, so they don't have to worry about anything. They will simply go to a particular cloud provider and they will say that I need resource for my website. Now the cloud provider will say, okay, you don't have to worry about anything. I'm giving you these credentials, and now you can have everything available over the internet. All your storage and everything, it will be available for you over the internet, and we will manage all the other things. So, in simple words, now the storage will be available over internet, processing, RAM, CPU, all those things, operating system, everything that you require, all things will be available over the internet. And now, when they say that this will be available over the internet, then they have their own data centers. Don't think that these things are coming by a magic. No, the cloud provider is setting up his own whole data center by itself. उनका ही सारा काम है to manage and to do everything, which means they are also doing the same work. But now they have made this as a business. Ki now companies only have to worry about their work, their application, and their main task. All the other tasks like maintaining, scaling the infrastructure. So when I say scaling the infrastructure, which means that at what time we need more servers, at what time we need less servers, how to do that configuration by own, how to store the data in a better way, all those things they will care about. And they will set up their own infrastructure for us. Our task is to simply get a service over the internet that can help me to solve all my problems that were there in my infrastructure that we have created. Is this clear? What is the idea behind cloud computing? Is everybody clear till here? Okay. Now, the point is that, okay, cloud computing idea is clear, but who started this? Who started this first? Or you can say, who came up with this idea? Or who came up with this cloud technology first of all? So now here the champion is Amazon only. So I was giving you example of Amazon, and now here the champion is Amazon only. So Amazon was the first person who launched something known as Amazon Web Services. They launched something known as Amazon Web Services. And this was a complete in-house tool, or you can say in-house technology of Amazon. And when they launched this Amazon Web Services, so this is a particular cloud. This is a particular cloud. AWS is a cloud. So now they launched AWS Cloud, and at that point of time, they have only one service, which was EC2. And EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. So let me explain you in a very simple word. Let's say, let's say I have an application. Let's say I have an application. Now in this application, I need a database. Now, when I have built this application, at that point of time, I must have built it on a particular operating system. So let's say Linux was the operating system. And let's say database was Postgres database. Postgres. So let's say Postgres database was there. Why it is turning like this? Okay, let me remove it. Need alignment. Okay, so let's say Postgres was the database on which this application was built. OS was like Linux was operating system was Linux, and the servers that were used in this application were there. So all these things were there. Storage, and to make this application run, we need a RAM also. We need a RAM also. We need CPU also. So now this particular application, if we want to build a particular application, we require all these things to create an application. Now let's say currently this application was working on a physical data center. Let's say currently this application was working on a physical data center of a company because they don't know about cloud. This was working with fine on physical data center. Now Amazon came and Amazon said that I am the first here, and I started cloud computing, and I have my service for you, which is known as EC2. Now EC2 is a kind of, you can say, a server. So EC2 is a cloud compute resource server. So whenever you get any resource, so whenever I say this word resource, so resource is something which is a server, which has CPU, RAM, hard disk storage, all those things in that, along with the operating system. So now Amazon ने बोला कि if you have to manage all these things in a particular data center for running your application, don't do anything. Simply go and get my EC2 service and launch your application here. Launch your application here. And the good part was that in this EC2 instance, you can have your operating system of your own. So here there is no limitations that you can only use Windows, you can only use Mac. Here all the options are available. So my application was based on Linux. So in this EC2 engine or the service of Amazon, I have got a complete server or a complete resource which has Linux as an operating system, has storage, has CPU, and has everything. I just have to launch my application on this particular resource, and my application will work fine. At any point of time when the load will be more, this EC2 instance will be shifted and will be getting more specifications, or new EC2 services or the servers will be created automatically. You just have to launch your application. Are you able to understand what exactly EC2 is? So EC2 is a kind of a server that you are getting, or you can say simply, in simple words, EC2 is a kind of a resource in which you can launch your application, you can create your website, you can do anything that you were doing on your data center. So it is a kind of resource. So let's say if I want to run application on AWS, then I will be running that application on a EC2 instance or a EC2 resource. And it is also known as compute. So whenever you will go into a company, you will listen this word compute a lot of times. So compute is a resource. And here in AWS, the compute resource is EC2. So now the problem Amazon solved, but this was very early stage. Amazon came up with this idea in 2006 only. Amazon came up with this idea in 2006 only. Now after that, today there are multiple cloud providers here. And today the most common cloud providers are Amazon, which is AWS, Azure, and GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. Now I will tell you one very interesting fact. Okay, so the PAS and all those things that you are writing here, so I will be covering that also. Those are cloud computing models. So I'm just going into a flow and all those things will be covered. This is only 30% of the things that I am going to teach you. We have only completed 30%. Okay. Now we have these three major cloud providers. Now, one fact that nobody tells you is that today, if you think that you want to become a data analyst or a data engineer, even a data analyst or a data engineer, most of you don't know that you have to learn and you have to understand cloud also. See, why cloud is important? आज की डेट में every company who is working with big data, all those companies are working on cloud only. Now, if you don't know what is cloud, if you don't understand what is cloud, then if you will go into a company and somebody will say you that our company and our data is basically based on AWS cloud, or we are doing this particular thing and particular thing, then how you will be able to understand what they are trying to say? Because you don't have any idea about these cloud computing and all. So cloud computing today is very important and most important for data field, because these clouds are the places where all our data is lying and all our processing on data is done. And today these cloud providers are very, very big right now. They have everything available over the internet. Today, they give you storage. Today, they give you multiple services, like more than 100, 200, 300 services they are providing on the platform. Now, people don't have to worry about anything. These clouds are taking everything on themselves and giving you a smooth experience. So today, if you don't know about cloud and if you don't know about important services of cloud, then you are not a perfect data analyst. And if you know, and a data engineer, and if you know cloud, if you know understanding of all these concepts, then if you go to a company, your resume will be more. You can go through more job descriptions and you can apply for jobs. So after this class, I will say that you will be able to see you will be able to apply in a job where you see cloud as a job description. So okay, so now let's have a break of 10 minutes, or you can say a break of 5 to 6 minutes, and then after this we will start. And the next topic that we are going to talk about is models, cloud computing models. So till now we have talked about cloud computing kya hai, why it came into the picture, and what are the major cloud providers. Now we'll be talking about cloud computing models. Like cloud computing models, I will give you a very simple brief and then we can go on break. A simple brief about cloud computing models are, see, every company has a different usage for using a cloud service. Some companies want to run their application. Some companies want to have a software. Some companies like Gmail gives you a mail service where they store all your mails and everything at an extent of 15 GB, and after that they charge you for storing and for getting your mails. So that is also a kind of cloud computing model. Now, some people launch their applications on the cloud. That is also a kind of cloud computing model. So, all those three kinds of cloud computing models we are going to talk about in the next half. Please wait and don't leave the session. If you want to go for 5 minutes, you can go and come back. Okay. So, now we will talk about cloud computing models, or how this cloud can serve the customers. So now this cloud is not only serving the companies. So this cloud is not only serving the companies, it is serving normal users also, like you and me. This cloud is not only serving companies, this is serving normal users like us also. But every person who requires a cloud, they need a particular service from that cloud. They need a particular service from that cloud. See, every company will not take all the services of the cloud. Companies will only take the services which they require. So now there are three kind of service models of cloud. The first one is software as a service. This is first service model of a cloud. Second one is infrastructure as a service. And third is platform as a service. So now software as a service means what? Software as a service is also termed as SaaS. Infrastructure service is termed as IaaS. And platform as a service can be termed as PaaS. So these are the three kind of models that cloud companies provide. Or you can say these are three models which are provided by cloud providers. So first of all, we'll talk about software as a service. Okay, let's take an example of Netflix. Now, this Netflix is a kind of example of software as a service. Now, how and why this Netflix is known as a software as a service kind of model? And this is for users. So you are the people who install Netflix, na? And you are the people who watch the movies and all. So tell me, what is your task? What is your task on Netflix? Tell me the simple thing. What is your task on Netflix? So your task is only to watch and chill. Yes or no? Your task is only to watch and chill. But who will care about all other things like when movie started, on what server, on what server this movie is running, who built this app, how this app was built, how our history is stored. All these things do we care about? Tell me, do we care about all these things? The answer is no, we don't care about all these things. So if we don't care about all these things, then who will manage all these things? The server, or you can say the cloud provider? If I don't care about all these things, then cloud provider will care about all these things, na? So all this task that is here will be done by which person? The cloud provider. It will be done with the help of cloud provider. So this particular Netflix as a company will manage all these things. So Netflix as a company will manage all these things. So now this particular thing is known as software as a service, in which you are giving a software and your task is just to use that software. Let me give you one more example of software as a service. So let's take an example of Gmail. Have you ever thought of key in Gmail how your emails are managed? How your emails are stored? How these emails are processed and sent and received? And if they are sent and received, then who manages this internet connection, or you can say the IP address management, who is doing? We don't care about all these things. We are just using this software, which is Gmail. Now, till 15 GB of storage, till 15 GB of storage, nobody is charging you. But after 15 GB of storage, they are charging you as well. So now what you think? For the 15 GB that you have used by them, don't they have any cost to it? They have a cost to it, but they are not charging you, but they are giving you a software as a service. Now all your emails are stored somewhere, so storage they are like worrying about. All the IP address management, everything they are worrying about. They have just given you a software, and this software is available where? This software is available over the internet. And if this is available over the internet, it needs to have, or it must have, something as cloud storage. So now these, or this particular kind of example is known as cloud, or you can say software as a service. Is everybody clear? So these are two examples of software as a service. So आपको software मिला as a service, and all the software and everything is managed by the software person or the cloud provider or the owner of the company. They have to pay to the Amazon or any cloud for managing this software, but our task is just to watch and chill. So this particular example is known as software as a service. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about is infrastructure as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? So infrastructure as a service is known as a kind. Let me give you a very simple definition. So when I say I want infrastructure as a service, then at that point of time, I want a server, I want a storage, I want a network. And if you remember, these all things were required in my infrastructure of data center also. So when I told you the example of data center, when companies used to manage all these things or all this infrastructure, they also require these three things. So now, whenever you take infrastructure as a service, then you get a server, you get a storage, and you get a network, which means that you get a kind of infrastructure over the internet. You get a kind of a infrastructure over the internet. And this whole infrastructure is provided by the cloud provider. And else all other things are managed by you. Else all other things are managed by you. So you are just getting what? You are just getting a infrastructure setup. So they will set up a infrastructure for you in their own data centers, and they will give you all that infrastructure over the internet. Now you don't have to worry about the infrastructure. All the network, all the server, all the data center facilities and everything, they will manage. So this particular thing is known as infrastructure as a service. How cloud computing take care about who built the app? The task of the cloud computing is to manage the data which is produced by the app and the data present in the app. ऐसा नहीं है वर्षिष्ठ. Varshita. Okay. So Varshita, basically, how cloud computing take care about who built the app. Okay. So think it like a cycle. So Netflix is a company. Now, if Netflix have to store their data, or if they have to work with their infrastructure, or if they have to work with anything, they will need a cloud because they have lot amount of data. So let's say they have hired AWS as a cloud. Now AWS will take care of all their data, will take care of all their storage, will take care of all their processing, and everything they will get over the internet with the help of Amazon. Now the application that they have launched, that will be also be launched on a AWS cloud, yes or no? If they are taking services of AWS. Now, if they have launched the application with the help of AWS cloud, now AWS cloud responsibility is to manage the whole application. And if AWS is managing the application, then we as a user are using that application. So we as a user are using that application as software as a service. Now, the way that application was built and the server it used or the storage it used, so that particular application was built with the help of infrastructure as a service by Netflix. So Netflix opted that I will take infrastructure as a service, and Amazon has provided or AWS has provided the whole infrastructure. And now in that infrastructure, they have built all their apps and applications and everything. Now the cloud is managing all those things. And now that application is also managed by cloud, but we are using that application as a software. That's why it is software as a service for us. Is this clear to you now? Great. Okay, so second one was infrastructure as a service, and the third and the final one is platform as a service. Now this one is little important. Platform as a service. So now what platform as a service means? So platform as a service means that, let's say you have an application and you are running this application in your local machine. Let's say you have an application and you are running this application in your local machine, or let's say you have created this application in your laptop. And once you created this application or your on your laptop, you used code for this application. You connected a backend database in this application. Connect backend database for that application. Now you have used particular ports for running this application because you are running it on local. Now the next thing that you are using is a kind of what you say, कोड हो गया, बैकएंड डेटाबेस हो गया, पोर्ट्स हो गए, इंटरनेट हो गया, or you can say connectivity or IP address हो गया. So all these kind of things you have created, and operating system also. So let's say in your MacBook, in your Mac operating system, you have created an application, you have written all the code and everything. And let's say you are the developer of this application. As you have created this application, you are a developer. Now, if I want to launch this application for all over the people over the internet, let's say I want to launch my application over the internet. So I want to launch my application over the internet. Now, if I want to launch it over the internet, then I need a server also, which will run that application. I need a storage also, which will store data if any data comes into that application. So all those things I want. So now, without worrying about anything, I will simply pack my code. I will simply pack my code. And when I say pack my code, I will create, or you can say I will have a particular folder in which all my application code, backend code, and everything will be there. And I will pack my code and I will simply go to a cloud provider and I will say that I want your platform as a service, and the service that I want are, or you can say, because like why I'm using platform as a service, because I want to launch my whole application on your platform. So they will say that I want to launch my whole application on your platform, and I have my application ready. Give me a service which is platform as a service. Once Amazon will say that okay, I will give you a platform as a service, then they will provide you what? They will provide you a platform. Second thing, they will provide you a runtime environment in which your application codes and everything can run. And it will also provide you an environment which will have all the OS and the particular programming language. So let's say when you have created this application, you have used Python 3.8 and your operating system was Mac OS. So now once they will give you platform as a service, they will give you the whole environment of Mac OS and a particular 3.8 Python version along with the runtime, and they will give you all those things. You simply have to go, you have to drop your application, and your application is up and running now. So this is something which is known as platform as a service. So if you go to Play Store, many of you must have created any app at any point of time. And if you want to launch that application, then where you go? You go to Google App Engine, and Google App Engine creates a APK file for your app in their own software or in their own service. And then you go and you launch it on Play Store. So this is platform as a service. All these three models are clear to everyone. Are all these three models clear to everyone? So these are the three service models that we have in cloud computing. Okay. So now, till now, what we have covered is, till now we have covered like what was the previous architecture, why the problem came, who solved the problem, and what are the different kind of ways this clouds, or you can say these cloud providers, are solving the problem. Now, till now, we are clear with multiple things. Till now, we are clear with multiple things. And now, once you are clear with all these things, now we are going to work with a real cloud platform. So now we are going to work with a real cloud platform. Now, I will be teaching you, or I will be telling you about AWS. First of all, I will be telling you about AWS. So simply you have to go to your Google and you have to write AWS here. Simply write AWS. Once you will type AWS, you will get Amazon Web Services here. Or you can click on this also, anyone is fine. So I will be clicking on Cloud Computing Services, Amazon Web Services. I'll click here. So all of you will see a page like this. Now the good part is that all of you can learn AWS by working on AWS. So if you want to work with AWS, or if you want to start with AWS, then AWS gives you a complete, you can say $400 free credits, or you can say $300 free credits, by which you can use their particular platform and you can have a go through it. And why this is important? Because in every company, when you will go, you will be working on these platforms only. So, okay. So now we are on this page. And the first thing that I will be doing is I will be clicking on create account. And once you will click on create account, what you have to do is you have to, so if you see here, sign up for AWS. So now, first of all, you will give your email address. So let's say my email address I will give. So my email address is YUTK. This is the test email. And I will write this email here. And I will give my account name as uh, Daily Tasks AWS. So this is the account name that I will give. And this is the email ID that I will be giving. And all of you, please keep your PAN card picture handy in your laptop. You need a PAN card picture, and please keep your credit card handy. These two things you have to keep handy. Now, don't worry, your credit card will only get a transaction of 2 rupees, and a kind of, you will get a recurring payment kind of thing. Now, once you have created the account, you can simply go and you can close that recurring payment. So no money will be deducted. So credit card and PAN card picture needs to be ready. So I'll be clicking on verify email address. So now I will be simply going to my email. I will be simply going to my email and I will be checking the thing that I have got. Let me check why I'm not getting any code here. Have you people got the code? I have already utilized the free tier. There another way I can again start fresh. Yeah, you can start with a new mail ID. So it is saying that let me click on resend the code. Okay, I don't know. Okay, let me use a different mail. We click on create account and I will be using dataguy.durgesh @gmail.com and I will be giving a name of my account as my daily task. And I click on verify my email address. Now I will check whether I got the mail or not. Okay, I got the mail. So my OTP is 710118 and I will click on verify. Now it will ask you a root user password. So a root user password is a password. Since we provide PAN card, is it not allowing again for free tier? Okay, got your point. So in that scenario, see, I don't think that is the scenario because with the same PAN card, I have created email ID with 3 accounts. So I don't know that will be an issue. So now you will be writing root user password. So what is the root user? Who is root user? So root user is the person who is the admin of this account, who has all the control on this account, who has created this account. So I will be using my password here. And I will confirm the password as well. And simply I will go, okay, it is saying password does not match. Let me check. Okay, so I will go to the next step now. Now in the next step, it will ask me two things. Sign up for AWS, choose your account plan. So you will be selecting choose free plan. And now here you will give your name. So I will give my name as Durgesh Yadav. Organization name as let's say you can give Topmate. And here I will be giving my number. So I'll be giving my phone number. Now country and region that I will be going to select will be India. And address line and all these things are optional. So city I will be writing Bangalore. State I will be writing Karnataka. And postal code I will be writing 560045. And I will click on I have read the conditions. So if you see, it will directly give you a region. It is telling you that if you will install AWS or if you will register on AWS, you will get Asia Pacific Hyderabad region, which means the data center which is kept in Hyderabad region, I will be able to get that particular data center as my, you can say, as my service. So I will be clicking on enable the Asia Pacific Hyderabad region. तो हैदराबाद में अभी सेटअप हुए हैं. So now I will click on agree and continue. Okay, it is asking me line 1 also. So now I will be writing house 126 by 1. And I'll click on agree and continue. Once I will be clicking on agree or continue, it will ask you two things: UPI autopay and credit or debit card autopay. So, see, in credit card, it is difficult to pause a credit card recurring payment because it requires to enter in the application. It is a very tedious work. So you can simply select UPI autopay and you can enter your UPI here. So I will be entering my UPI here. So okay. Now the thing is that if you are putting your UPI, if you are using your UPI here, again I'm saying, after you like do the process or after you select the process of recurring payments, once your account is set up, which will be in 10 minutes, simply go into your Paytm account or any of your account, simply go to manage payments, and there you can simply select this AWS and you can stop that. So no money will be deducted from your account. So I will not be doing this step because I have already done this step. Once you will go to the next step, then it will ask you your kind of, you can say, payment you have to approve, and you have to approve the recurring payment. And after that, it will ask you the PAN card. And once you will input the PAN card, your account is created. So all of you, I am giving you 2 to 5 minutes of time. Try to do this process, and if you face any difficulty, do let me know. The steps are very simple. You have to fill your UPI, you have to click on continue, you will get a notification of a payment in your particular application or your UPI app. There you have to approve it, and that approval will be of 15,000, but that will not charge you 15,000. When you will see that approval message coming in your UPI platform, it will say that, are you okay to for this recurring payment? So you have to just set up that recurring payment. That's why it will show you 15,000 there, but it is not actual 15,000 that will get deducted. Again, listen it. And now once you do that process, in the final page, it will ask you your PAN card. Once you will fill the PAN card, you simply have to go and create the account. That's it. After creating this account, what should we do? Okay, so just wait for 2 3 minutes. Let other people also do the things. Then we can start. Okay. Okay. So the people who are seeing recording, there was a 15 to 20 minutes of gap in between, and I forgot to resume the recording. That's why you must be seeing that it started after some break. So, in this break, I have only told about two services. One is IAM, which is Identity Access Management, by which we can give control to any user, or we can create some roles by which our services can work properly. And the second thing that I have told was Amazon EC2. So I'm just repeating EC2 again. So I'll be simply going on EC2, and let's say I want to create an application, and to create that application, let's say I need a particular Windows or Linux as an operating system, and I require some CPU, some storage, and all those things. Now, let's say your computer is MacBook or your laptop is MacBook, and now you want to work with Linux, and you need a complete new laptop. Let's say you need a complete new system for you, and that too all available on internet. then at that point of time you have to go to EC2 and you have to launch an instance. Now, instance is a kind of resource which has all those things like operating system, RAM, CPU, hard disk, and memory. Now, I will simply writing here as my EC2, and I will be selecting my operating system that I want. So this time I will be selecting Windows. So if you see Windows I have selected. Now I'll be simply clicking on launch instance. So I will be clicking on create new key pair, and key pair is basically used to connect or to get a kind of a certificate that can help you to locally connect your computer with the AWS instance, which means that you don't have to use a UI in between. So I will be creating a key pair name as my EC2 key pair, and I will be clicking on launch instance. So if you see here, this is downloaded, the certificate is downloaded, and that you can use for locally connecting your computer with the instance by using your terminal. So if you see, my instance has been created, and this will be visible in the instances if you see here. And to open or to work on this particular resource, I simply have to click on connect. So if you see here, for some reason this is not working because we don't have a kind of, you can say, uh, the user, or you can say this is a free version of it. So if you see here, currently this instance is running. Now now once you will click on connect, if you see, currently I don't have a IEM role here, because of which it is not letting me connect. So let me do one thing. I will click on modify IEM role, and I will give the IAM role, which is Amazon EC2 role, in which I have given the access of whole Amazon. Now I'll be simply clicking on connect. So role is there. Okay. So this time I have used Windows as a operating system. So that's why it is showing me a problem here. But if you see all other instances that are there, so let me click on this particular instance. And if I click on connect, so if you see, one instance is already running here. So one and two instances, multiple instances are running here. So if you want to run an instance, then simply what you can do is you can kill all the other instances that are running fine right now, and you can connect with the one that you want. And once you will connect, you will see a whole terminal in front of you. So let me show the terminal in front of you. So if I click on connect, then I will be clicking on EC2 instance connect, and I will be clicking using public IP address, and I will click on connect. Once you will click on connect, this is your new Amazon Linux system that you have created as an instance. And now you can start your coding and your work here. So this was the part that we have missed while the recording breaked in between. So yeah, and again, other people must have revised this again. So, okay, now let's have a break of 5 to 6 minutes. I'm really very tired, so let's have a break and then we'll start. Yeah, so Javed, that's how the companies work. But the point is, nobody tells you these things. People only teach you SQL, Python, Excel, and Power BI and data analytics. But if you are working in a big data company, you have to work with this. Now, this thing like people don't work directly here on this particular page. What people do is people try to connect with their terminal with this particular EC2 instance, and once they connect with it, then they use it there. So that is something that I will be telling in the next class. Today's class I will not be telling that. But okay, now we are going to talk about the third service of AWS, which is once again a very important service, which is known as S3. And S3 stands for Simple Storage, or you can say Simple Storage Service. Okay. Okay, so first of all, S3 is used for storing. S3 is used for storing the data. And almost you can say 70 to 80% of the companies use S3 for their storage. So now what is S3? So S3 is basically, I told you, the storage service, and it can store all three kinds of data, which means it can store structured data, which is in the form of tables or CSV files or Excel files. It can store data in the semi-structured file in the form of JSON or dictionary files. And it can have data in the form of videos, audios, images, text, and all those things. Okay. So now to store something on S3, so if you want to store something on S3, the first thing that you have to go do is you have to create a bucket. So bucket you can think of is a kind of representation as a kind of a folder you can think of. And in that particular folder or in that particular bucket, you will keep or you will store all your files that you have. So I will be creating a bucket and I will be giving it a name as, now once again, bucket name needs to be unique. And when I say unique, I'm not saying unique in your own organization. It needs to be unique all over the world, buckets that are created on AWS. So I will be creating a bucket as my S3 bucket, and I will give today's date. So 2026 0301. Now, if you already have a bucket, you can use the configuration of that same bucket. Now, if you see here, I will be giving all the public accesses to this bucket. Now, bucket versioning. So if you want to enable bucket versioning, what bucket versioning means that if you will enable bucket versioning, then all the things that are happening in your bucket, like deletion of files, addition of files, so all those things will be recorded. And let's say if you have deleted some file and you want to go back to a version, when you have that file, you can do it with a simple click. So that is known as bucket versioning. So I'll be simply clicking on create a bucket. So now I have created a bucket, which is my S3 bucket 2026-0301. Now in this bucket, simply you can upload any file. So I will be trying to upload a file. So I will be clicking on upload file, then I will be clicking on add files. And here I will be adding a file which is blinkit.csv. Or you can upload any file. So I will be uploading this Blinkit file. And that's how we store data in S3 bucket. So now I will simply click on upload. And now in my S3 bucket, I have a Blinkit CSV file. Now, if I want to use this CSV file at any place, in any data warehouse or at any location, I simply have to copy the S3 URI. And once I will copy the S3 URI, then this particular S3 URI can be used anywhere to access this file. And that's how data engineers access the file, or they take a data from a particular S3 bucket into a particular location. Now, if you want to see this file, you can simply click on open and it will download the file for you. So that's how the S3 bucket works. Now, S3 is a big data storage bucket and it can have all your structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data inside it. So, yeah, so that's all for the class today. So, I have told you all the major things that were required, and right now I'm feeling little tired. So, that's all for the class today. And yes. So I'm going to stop the recording.